Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Saul Palmer. And today I'm going to be talking to you about an interesting topic. And that's, what does it mean when your woman says she needs space or she wants to take a break? Now, I find this very interesting because whenever a woman says she needs space or she wants to take a break, usually what that means is she's really not that into you. There's no reason why she wants to waste her time and spend time with you because you're not that interesting. I'm going to just call it what it is. You're really not that interesting. And there's something that you did or she did in the relationship where she's having second thoughts. She has cold feet. And a lot of times they take this time off to really see if there's other options out there. If there's other options out there, she's going to move forward. Hey, I know we said we needed space, or I know I said I needed space from you, or I need to take a break, but we're going to just go ahead and end the relationship. And a lot of times they want to see if there is not any options out there, if you're still going to hang around and you're going to be that rebound guy, or you're going to be that guy that she comes back to. So I get really, I want to say upset. I just don't like when I see certain advice online that tells you, give her space. Of course, give her space. And give her space in my book is give her space, but leave the freaking relationship. And that's what I just said earlier is the reason why. But a lot of advice talks to you about giving her space. This is what's going on through her head. This is the reason why. And it's like they're almost sugarcoating the truth. And when you sugarcoat the truth, it does you no good. It's just like if you eat a whole bunch of sugar before you eat dinner all the time, or you don't eat any dinner at all, healthy foods, and you just eat sugar, it's going to freaking rot your teeth. It's going to be bad for your health, and you're going to regret it later on in life. So I don't want to sugarcoat anything for you. I'm here to break through the bullshit of just be nice, put her on a pedestal. She's perfect. You need to work on yourself, or you need to figure out what you did wrong. I'm all for personal development for men. I'm all for working on yourself, but you have to do that for you. Work on yourself for you, not to attract the woman, not to get her back, not to impress her. You do that for you. And a lot of advice out there, it focuses so much on you doing everything for the woman. You doing everything for the woman. And when you do everything for the woman, this is what happens. You start to change who you are, because every woman is different. So each relationship that you've been in or that you're going to get into in the future, you have to change for that woman, because even though there's similarities when it comes to women, there's a lot of differences. Not all women are the same, but the constant in any relationship that you are in is you. So if you are the constant, what that means is work on you for you. Because anytime that you get into a new relationship with a different woman, they're always going to get you. But if you keep switching up and you keep changing, there's nothing solid. So I just want to get that out of the way. Focus on you, work on you, develop you for you and nobody else. And the women will come along. But going back to what I was talking about earlier is not sugarcoating what I'm trying to tell you guys. And that's when she says she wants a break, or we need a break, or I want some space, give her space. And the space that you're going to give her is the door. Bye. We're done. I don't have time to play games. I don't have time to figure out what's going on with you. And sometimes they need space because, I hate to say it, but sometimes they have a lot of internal turmoil that they need to work on, either with a counselor or a therapist. And they got into the relationship looking for something. So whenever you get into a relationship looking for something, that means that you're relying on that other person for something. And if you don't have it, hey, he doesn't have it, so we need our space. I'm going to take a break. That means she has to work on herself. It may not be what's popular, but that's what it is. When two people come together and they've already worked on themselves, they can come together at 100%. And they grow together because they are already good. Now, I understand none of you guys are perfect. We all are not perfect. However, You have to be willing to develop yourself, whether you're in a relationship or out of a relationship. So when she says she needs that space or let's take a break, that really means that she has a lot going on. And it may not even have anything to do with you. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. You did some shit that you need to work on or fix. I get that. But at the same time, she also needs to work on herself. And if you are already at 100% with yourself, you're already good, you're healthy, let her work on herself, give her that space. But my thing is do that on your own. And I'm just going to go ahead and end the relationship because my happiness is first. It's very important that I'm happy, because if I'm not happy, how can you be happy? How can I share the happiness with you? And if you're not happy and I'm not happy, it's not going to work out. So that's my thing is, I'm not here to sugarcoat and tell you that you have to be this type of way and focusing every little detail on the woman and figuring out her mind and all this other stuff. That's bullshit. We're not here to focus on that. We're here to make sure that you're good, number one, and the people that are in your life, if they're not good, then they can be by themselves. If they're not trying to work on themselves, they can be working on themselves by themselves. Now, the other thing I see that's very interesting, and I don't know if it's up there with needing space or taking a break, but it's the getting your ex back. Getting your ex back. How to get your ex back. Help me understand this. So you're a man, you're a leader, you're the person that has so much value in the relationship as a man, but you're trying to get your ex back. Help me understand that. What sense does it make to try to get a woman back? Number one, if she left you, or number two, let's say, for instance, you cheated or you actually did something wrong in the relationship. Why are you trying to get your ex back? Once it's over, it's over. Now, I understand some of you like to have benefits on the side. Some of you, you meet up with her and do your thing, but you're not serious. I guess that's okay. However, I'm not completely for that, because if you're out of the relationship and she went her way, you went your way, there's no reason to really look back. It's always looking forward. But I think it's very interesting that you guys want your ex back. I think that's, can I be frank? That's the weakest, stupidest shit I've ever heard. Get your ex back. 10 ways to get your ex back. How to get your ex back. How to win her back. Why? Why are you trying to win her back? And I can tell you why you're trying to win her back, because you don't have self-esteem. Your self-confidence is low. You don't know who you are. You haven't developed yourself. You don't have anything to offer. So that part of you that went away in your mind, you need her back because that's part of you. You're dependent upon her for your happiness and for you to be a man. And I find it interesting that when men explain what it means to be a man, it's always in the premise of having to have a woman in order to be a man. Having a woman in order to be a man. So when the relationship doesn't work out, she leaves or you leave, you realize that's the woman that made me who I am as a man. That's what you think. Subconsciously, you think that. You may not consciously realize it, but subconsciously, that's what it is. And you want her back because that's the missing piece. And that's where you mess up, because that woman is not your missing piece. You are your own whole piece. She comes to you and you get together because you are the wholeness. You are the everything that makes the relationship work. Think about that. You as a man, you have everything you need. You have everything that you need for the relationship. You have everything you need for yourself. but you go chasing and trying to figure out how to get her back. There's videos and programs and all kind of shit on getting a woman back. But my thing is, why don't you just let her go? Why don't you just let her go? It's funny because the only reason why I could understand you wanting a woman back is if you didn't actually have a breakup. Maybe you had to move somewhere and you wanted to figure out like, what did you want best for you? And then later on down the line, you're like, hey, things were always working out. I just had to do my thing, but let's get back together. But instead, you make a decision based on things outside of you, externally. Oh, I see this in the military all the time. I'm about to deploy. Let's hurry up and get married so that way we can be together. Or you fall for what she wants. You get with her because of her. And like I said before, when you get into a relationship, the only constant thing should be you. You may have different women. You may date different women or be in different relationships. There's always a variable, and that's the woman, but the constant is always you. So if you make a decision on being with the woman because you feel that she's the missing piece, you're doing it because of her and you're doing it for things outside of you. Those are the only reasons, if you think about it. If you want a woman back, it's because of you feel that she's the missing piece, or you're doing it because of things outside of both of you, which are, like I said earlier, you get deployed, or you're going to get deployed. Let's hurry up and get married, or let's do this and that because I want to make sure we stay together. I'm about to move. You want to move with me? Things like that, and that's for the wrong reason. In my opinion, like I said earlier, in my opinion, if the relationship is over, let it be, because when you're trying to, this is my thing, when you're trying to get a woman back, you are trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. You're trying to change who you are, and you're trying to change who she is. You're begging, you're pleading. Why don't you come back with me? Let's make this work. I'll do this, and that. And when she hears that, I'm telling you, fuck all the shit you hear online and all the advice you see. A lot of that, and that's the thing I was talking about with my wife earlier. A lot of shit that you see is theory. A lot of shit that you read is theory, and it's not based on factual evidence. It's not. I mean, think about it. A relationship is so intricate, right? There's so many different moving pieces and parts. It can be very complex. And think about anything else that is based on theory, like, okay, this may happen, this may not happen. Hell, the weather says one thing, the next day it shows up as something totally different. Think about that. Think about all the different things in your life that you have the factual evidence, or it's theory, it sounds good, but when the evidence shows up, it's actually incorrect. It's actually very different than what you expected. So listening to people or taking advice from people that only go off of theory or what they've read, it's not going to help you. It may sound good. It may help some of you guys out there that are not leaders. Maybe you have a weaker mindset, and it's not to bash you. I'm just letting you know what it is. And the other thing is, a lot of the information is not tailored towards you. Think about it. If the relationship already has complexities in it, you're complex. Maybe you don't know who you are. Maybe you haven't worked on your self-esteem, your self-respect, your self-confidence. You get with a woman that doesn't know who she is. She haven't worked on her self-esteem, her self-confidence. That is a huge, huge complexity with so many different variables. And so you try to take that information and you try to make it work for you, but it doesn't work because it's not meant for you. It's just generalized. You understand where I'm coming from? It's just generalized. And the other thing is there's countless of men who actually have the experience. They've been dating, they've been in relationships, married for years, for decades. And that is very, very valuable compared to something that you read or something that is shared to you based off of theory. And then you have your own experience. If you really want to make sure something works, my thing is what has been working for centuries, what has been working for decades, what has been working for years, like constantly nonstop working for a long period of time, what has been working for a very long time. That's what you got to think about, number one. Second thing is what actually works for you. What experience do you have? It's very difficult if you haven't had any experience, or the experience that you did have is just failure. I mean, that's okay. However, if you don't have any success when it comes to your relationship or any dating, it's very hard for you to really connect with what you're learning based off of theory. And that's the third thing is theory. Like there is good information out there that is broken down to a psychological aspect. Well, I don't want to say psychological aspect. I'll say that is based on human nature, things that are just in our nature as human beings, things that we do, our habits, our behaviors, our mindset, stuff like that. That's good. However, when you plug in the variables that keep changing, it makes it very difficult for you to understand. Or you may take a piece of advice that works for like a day, or maybe it works for a month, and then things happen and you're trying to figure out, why is this so complex? Am I having this problem or that problem? Well, because it's a lot of different variables and it's not tailored to you. The last thing I want to leave you with, I may be going off at a tangent. I just decided to record this today as a podcast to just get some things that are in my mind onto audio so you can hear it and help you out to the best of my ability. Is the other thing I see when it comes to advice on relationships, dating, marriages, is it's only one aspect that is talked about. One aspect is talked about. And that one aspect is what you're looking for. So if you have dating problems, there's information on dating problems. If you have relationship problems, there's information on relationship problems. But the thing I find very fascinating that I discovered years ago is you don't know who you are. Like I said before, there's constants and there's variables. If you don't know who you are, which is a constant, and you plug in different variables, you're always going to get different results. So you have to know who you are. A lot of advice that I see, they don't talk about personal development the way it should be talked about. And I'm not talking about just working out, going to the gym. That's great. That's good for discipline and consistency. However, I'm talking about you as a whole. You're not just your body. You have a body, but you're not the body. There's way more parts to you than you understand. There's way more parts. It's your past, your present, your future, your dreams, your goals, your visions, your mind, your body, your spirit, everything. There's so many things that are complex when it comes to you. And those things are not covered. No one's really teaching you or helping you discover who you are and build upon who you are from a foundation. And then when it comes to women, you don't know anything about women. Maybe the focus is just on women, but not everything that comes with women. Because if you're just learning and you're just discovering everything when it comes to women, which is one piece, which is the relationship or marriage or whatever, that's just one piece of a woman. That's just one part. She has other parts just like you, like I said. And if you don't understand women, then you're really going to have a hard time because you don't understand women. You don't understand their perspective. You don't understand where they come from, how they think. You don't understand everything that you need to understand when it comes to women. So that way, when you come together, it makes more sense and you connect and you are compatible. So a lot of times those things are missing out. Those things are left out. And then let's not get into the dating the relationships, when you get married, when it comes to sexual intimacy, all these different parts and pieces that when it comes to create a healthy, happy, successful relationship, those parts are broken down and just they're left out. Because a lot of passionate men, they may talk about women, they may talk about dating, they may talk about relationship or marriage, but they're missing the other parts. And nothing's wrong with that. However, my thing is you have to know about everything that goes into a successful relationship. If that's what you're here for, you have to understand yourself. You have to understand women. You have to understand dating. You have to understand relationships. You have to understand marriages. If you decide to go that route, you have to understand sexual intimacy. And then if you decide to have kids, hey, you have to understand what it means to be a father, what it means to be a leader in the household. There's so many different areas and parts, but a lot of information out there is not talking about that because it is complex and they want to focus only on one thing. But my thing is, you may get the advice on dating. That's great. You're dating, you know how to pick up women, you sleep with them. It's all good. What happens when she gets pregnant? What do you do? What happens if she claims the R word? What do you do? What happens if she has other issues that she brings into your life just when you're only dating? How do you handle that? So my thing is, and I know I'm going off on a tangent, but just bear with me. My thing is you have to know every aspect. Until you know every aspect, your relationship is always going to fail or it's not going to be as optimum as it can be. And that's what my whole channel is about, is helping you, yes, establish respect in your relationship, because I know that you want to have that peace of mind and you want to show up powerful in life. But you can't do that if you haven't established respect in a relationship. I see it all the time, especially in the military, service members. I see it all the time. You have to establish that relationship, or you have to establish that respect. So that's what this is about, is just helping you understand different aspects, different parts of the relationship as a whole, with everything included, not just one part. So that way, when she says she needs space or she says she wants a break, you automatically know a part of her is, I hate to say it, a part of her is broken. It needs to be fixed. It's not your job to fix it. But until she fixes that part or she works on that part, it's always going to be something that drags the relationship down. And if she wants space, give her space. If she wants a break, give her a break. But my thing is move on. Move on from that relationship. If you can't move on from that relationship, guess what? That means you need to work on yourself. There's a part of you that's deficient that you need to work on. I'm going to just call it what it is. And for you guys out there that want your ex back, ask yourself, why do you truly want your ex back? Do you want her back because the sex was amazing and you're afraid of never getting that again? Do you want her back because that part of you in your mind completed you and you're really lying to yourself and you're just in fear of being alone? What is it? Ask yourself that question. Why do you really want your ex back? If it's not logical, it's not right. As a man, your decisions need to be logical. If it's not logical, it's not right. And if it's not right, that means you need to work on something. And if you need to work on something, that means keep listening to and watching my content, because I'm here for you. But until next time, I'll talk to you later. Again, this is a podcast that I wanted to put out today. I'm Saul Palmer, your life and relationship coach. You have an outstanding one. Talk to you later.